Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining the webinar sessions of RheinBrücke. With the present COVID-19 situation prevalent, we help our esteemed customers and general audience in the ERP world to effectively use the systems and help them to work remotely by means of providing different knowledge-based seminars over the web. And this is one of the events that we have arrived based on our thought process. For the convenience, we are going to record the session as well for today's presentation. Next slide, please. The topic for today is DocStar, which is a document management system that helps users to use documents effectively in a virtual manner rather than worrying about the physical document. In the prevailing virtual working nature, the document format in a digitized way, managing them is very important, and we would run through the 9 yards out of this particular concept. The agenda is listed here. A very brief introduction about the speaker, followed by what we do. A couple of minutes will be taken for that. And what are the benefits of enterprise content management by means of the tool DocStar? A brief introduction to DocStar. How the ERP Epicor 10 is integrated with your DocStar, your document management system, so that a very thorough automation is taken care, and you will be able to enhance your productivity and efficiency by means of this automation would be discussed. Today, our speaker is Mr. Suresh Chandrasekharan, who is our Chief Solutions Architect. He has been working in this region, Middle East, Africa, for more than 22 decades, providing solution architecture, pre-sales, engineering, and consulting. He has successfully implemented ERP solutions for global companies across the world, spanning multiple countries, multiple years. As a Chief Solutions Architect, he comes with immense technical know-how on the base product and compliances and the implementation methodology, and he carries a lot of industry domain expertise with him. His expertise enables strategic development and arrive management to reach a higher ROI. Next is about myself. I am the moderator for today's discussion. My name is Srikanth. I am taking care of channel development. As some of you know, that RheinBrücke is currently developing our own channels, so that through the channel we would be able to sell effectively and provide the right solutions to the customers in this region. So we would be building our channels. As of now, we have around 10 channel partners across Middle East region. Next slide, please. RheinBrücke is a European company with a strong presence in Middle East and Africa. We are a European company with a global mindset. We have a very strong distribution network, as explained, across this region, through which we provide innovative solutions to our customers. We do provide 4 different pillars of delivery channel to our customers. I would explain that. We have a very competent global sales force, approximately 250 members across the world. We design and deliver solutions that enable mid-market enterprises in today's complex environment. Typically, they are called KMU, Kunde und Mittelstand, in the Germanic world. We provide solutions on-premise, and also we provide solutions over the cloud. Our solutions are time-tested and completely proven in terms of technology and has a better longevity and better ROI. We serve top 5 customers, or one of the 5 customers out of Fortune Global 500 companies across the world. We have state-of-the-art delivery center at Cologne, Germany, Dubai, as well as India. Next slide, please. Out of the 4 different pillars in our service offerings, we have enterprise services on pillar number 1, wherein we have a global ERP product called Epicor, which is a cutting-edge technology-based solution. And on the second pillar, we do have our own products that is developed by our engineers, which is for a strategic procurement. The solution name is Merlin, and we do have a Expensa, which is an expense management system. These 2 provide you a very clear solutions for enabling your suppliers and do strategic sourcing, and also provide you a very clear solutions for enabling your suppliers and do strategic sourcing. Next slide, please. suppliers and do in a cloud platform. The third pillar we have is enterprise solutions development, which is on top of Microsoft technology. We are Microsoft Gold certified partners, and we provide business intelligence and also analytics. We provide internet IoT-based integrations to the ERP and cloud and mobile development across the solution here. Fourth pillar is consulting services, where we do a very niche boutique consulting, how to set up the global supply chain services, how to set up a global manufacturing platform. So we provide this by means of onboarding the stalwarts in the industry who comes with more than 3 decades of industry experience. That's about a nutshell in terms of what we do. We are international partners of Epicor for past 2 years consecutively, and we provide global solutions for Epicor across the world. Over to you, Suresh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sri. Good morning to all of you. As you all know, we are going through a situation which we have never heard before, right? There is a growing demand from the organization and your co-workers and colleagues to get access of documents and enabling working from home today, especially because of the travel restrictions and current situation, right? It is an unprecedented situation where we haven't experienced it before, actually. So it is all about how do we quickly enable our organization to work from home. And this is not something which is going to get over in a week or two, right? There is industry analysts as well as people, experts talking about we getting accustomed or familiarized with the situation and continue with the same work pattern. Many organizations have already announced their employees to work from home for the next 1 year or year and a half. So it is high time for us to enable our organization as well as people and support them to get access of the documents in the organization and enable them to work from home. There is a huge change in the thought process of many of the organizations. There is a huge shift in the focus of organizations. Earlier, it was all about growth and innovation, but now it is all about productivity, efficiency, sustainability, right? So nobody is talking about growth and innovation today. And especially if you leave certain verticals aside or industries aside, people are talking about, or experts are talking about, this is a year of survival, right? But how do we make organizations to get ready for that? How do we prepare the organizations for that is the key point of discussions. So what we will be talking about, why it is relevant when it comes to enterprise content management, what is the relevance of it? And we will also talk about the tool what we are going to present to you, which is DocStar, a well-known enterprise content management system, have customers across the globe, plus how it is being integrated with Epicor as an ERP, with as well as other ERP systems. DocStar is a product can be implemented with other ERPs as well. So it has got tight integrated capability and connectivity with Epicor, but at the same time, we can extend that with other ERPs as well. And we can also talk about actually how the ERP AP automation capability works. That is something which is relevant today in the current context, especially when people are sitting in different places and working with that. Now, if you look at any enterprise content management system, definitely, as we all know, today what happens in the organization, right? We all got used to having a lot of file cabinets, and every document is printed and filed, as well as the documents what we receive from our vendors, with the contracts or any sort of documents, we have a habit of printing it, filing it, and keeping it in the office. If you look at the file cabinets, you can have a lot of file cabinets and storage space occupied in most of the offices. Today, we have a huge challenge, right? None of these documents are accessible. At the same time, the same document is being accessed by several people in the organization. the contract, if you are running a contract, if you are a contracting company, you have contract with your suppliers, maybe the same contract is being reviewed by several people, accessed by several people. If you have a supplier invoice, the same supplier invoice is being reviewed by or accessed by several people in the organization. How easily we can get access to such a document is the question here. So what is relevant is basically how do we take a copy of that document, or how do we keep that document in an electronic way, store it, and easily I can get access to that actually. Right? In case something goes wrong, how do we make sure that documents are available, right? We have experienced actually in several places, flood, fire, and all those kind of situations, right? Which is not in our control. So if something happens similar to that, how do we get access to those kind of documents? How do we reduce the storage space and make the document easily accessible by all in the organization? Flexibility of retrieving documents, right? Because you know that if all of a sudden we wanted to pull out a purchase order or a supplier invoice or a contract which we have signed 3 years back, how easy for people to pull that out? We will end up in spending a lot of manpower, labor in terms of people going and searching for it, getting that actually. Also, how do we become more competitive in the organization, as in the industry, right? And how do we become compliant to the standards and achieve compliance in the organizations, right? How easily we can retrieve the organization, and definitely at the end of the day, it's all about peace of mind, right? How do we how do we assure that actually all the documents are safe? And at any given point in time, whatever could be the situation, whether I'm in the office, I'm at home, I'm traveling, I'm somewhere else, how do I get the access of that document easily is the question which all of us are asking today. So from that perspective, actually, enterprise content management system helps you in terms of storing the document as well as retrieving it, and you can always get guaranteed that actually those documents are available for your consumption at any given point in time. There are a lot of statistics actually done by, or research done by a lot of analysts and industry research organizations, and they typically say the amount of dollars and or the other currencies we spend in terms of storing a document, pulling out a document, as well as actually to reproduce a document, right? A lost document. So it's all about each and every document needs to be filed, as well as actually a document which is misfiled. Sometimes actually it will go into a different file rather than going into the right file. So it is not easy for us to pull that out. So to retrieve that document, especially the one which is misfiled, how long does it take? How easy for us to get that is the question here. It's all about actually the amount of money you spend, especially in these kind of difficult times. Every dollar you save is a dollar you earn, right? It is as good as kind of making sure that actually your bottom line is being maintained, though your business is down, your revenue is down. So every additional non-value added dollars to be cut down and make sure that actually we are spending and using our money more effectively. It is also, people are talking about actually 7.5% of all documents get lost. Either it is in a misfiled way or some other way. 7.5% of documents in an organization normally get lost, and 3% of the remainder get misfiled, right? So it is all about we losing documents. Losing a document is creating more chaos and issue in the organization. We will not be able to refer it, and we will not be able to make use of. And it's also talking about actually, if you look at the professionals, they spend almost 5 to 50% of their time to read a document. But the worst part of it is basically 50% of the time they spend searching for it, right? In summary, they spend 5 to 50% of their time in terms of reading a document, but 50% of the time they spend searching for it. you see the biggest issue what we have in the organization, right? This is something which I don't have to tell you. If you look at your own experience, you will see that actually the amount of information and difficulty what you're facing today, in general, searching for a document, getting access to a document, right? And so on and so forth. And a lot of time is being spent searching for it. Actually, that is exactly the challenge today, and we wanted to come out of it. If you look at a typical document life cycle, right, you wanted to have an efficient, effective way of storing document and retrieving it. But is that enough? No, definitely not, right? When you store a document, in many cases, you may want to have a different workflow in terms of how do you route the document, how do you approve it, how do you index it and archive it, so on and so forth. You need to have an automated solution in terms of enterprise content management. It is also important when it comes to the environment in which you are keeping the document. Is it secure? Is it easy for me to retrieve that document? Do they have the disaster recovery plans? In case something goes wrong, actually, do they have a backup of that? So on and so forth. So if you in general, if you look at the enterprise document management lifecycle or any document in the organization, one is basically capturing the document. How do we capture the document? There are multiple ways. You may have your system, you are printing a document, you may print a purchase order, you may print a sales invoice, you may print certain other document is the first question, right? You save that document, then when you are saving it, is it automatically getting archived, right? Is it getting stored? The second way of capturing is basically you are receiving an AP invoice. How do you capture that actually is the other question, right? You capture that, you scan a document, you receive an email. You have a lot of different ways of capturing a document, and then definitely as soon as you capture it, you need to classify it, right? You need to say, oh, this is a purchase order. If it is a purchase order, which supplier the purchase order belongs to, right? And what part numbers or what kind of currency, so on and so forth. If it is an AP invoice, you need to say again which supplier it belongs to, what's the invoice number. So how do we classify it, index it, so you can easily retrieve it actually? That's where there are an intelligent way of doing this, right? You have mechanisms, especially the intelligent data capturing methods actually in the document management system, the content management system, where you will be able to automatically read the document, index it, and classify it without you manually doing those exercises, right? The second thing is basically store and retrieve. How do we store the document and retrieve it as and when it is required? Collaborate it, especially within the organization. If you receive an invoice, probably the person who receives the supplier invoice kind of, let's say, scan it, or they get an email, automatically system scans it, put it into a workflow. It goes to the different person in terms of the AP clerk, in terms of looking at the document and making sure it is all done. He approves it, goes to the, let's say, the payable manager. He approves it. Then it goes to the payment section. They in turn process the invoice and do that. At the same time, anytime when you receive an invoice, you wanted to do different three-way matching or go through the different process. All these different things can be achieved through a collaborate platform. Then definitely you want to dispose certain documents, you can do that as well. If you look at the entire document lifecycle, you can manage all those different things through the system itself. That is where the flexibility comes in terms of the deployment model. DocStar as the content management system can be deployed on-premise in your own organization, or you can say that actually it is 100% available in cloud. You may say that actually I don't want to waste my time in terms of putting a system, maintaining it, managing it, worried about storage and all other kind of things. Let RheinBrücke take care of it actually, which we can 100% do it, right? The entire document management, you can have it on a subscription model, and it supports all the different browsers, right? You say that actually I want to use it on Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, and you have the complete flexibility. You can also access it from different tablets and smartphones, and you can get access of the documents at any given point in time. As I said earlier, one of the key benefits of a content management system is the AP integration, right? You receive thousands of invoices. If you look at in an organization, the amount of time they spend in terms of taking a supplier invoice, coding it, do a three-way matching, exception handling, approvals, it takes so much of time. It takes at least, you would say that actually you have a huge army of people sitting in your office to just code your supplier invoices. That is what exactly we are going to get rid of. The system, the content management system, DocStar, will directly read an invoice which is being received in the form of a PDF document or some other form, and it will read, the intelligent data capturing system will read that, translate that, create an invoice within the system. It will keep the document along with that, and you also have the flexibility to do the three-way matching and generate exceptions, and you just approve the exceptions. That invoice can be loaded directly into the ERP system. Many organizations are thinking towards a shared service model today, especially to process your supplier invoices and all of the kind of things. The accounts, the content management system will help you in a greater way in terms of achieving that target, right? And naturally, it also integrated with the ERP system. Definitely, it has got a built-in integration with Epicor ERP, but it also has got integration with other ERPs as well today. And it supports you in terms of end-to-end, capturing a document, storing a document, retrieving it, and collaborate with people. You can also do version management. You can say the same document, I wanted to maintain multiple versions, and you want to see that document, it supports you in terms of doing that. You will be able to easily search for documents, right? At any given point in time, with different keywords, you will be able to search it. It has got a tight integration with different Office products like Excel, Word, Outlook. You will be able to directly access the document management system, the content management system from the respective Office products, directly store a document there, and you will be able to do that as well. The other biggest advantage is basically it also helps you to define your own forms. Let's say that actually you want to have an employee onboarding process, right? You wanted to have a requisition process. So you will be able to define your own forms through the enterprise content management, and you will be able to let your employees or external people to fill up that form and submit it. It will go through a complete workflow, as well as it will store that data within Epicor database, right? So you have the complete flexibility in terms of managing it. A set of forms, actually user-defined forms, allow external workflow to kickstart or an extended process to kickstart within the enterprise content management system. And it also supports full-fledged configurable workflow management in terms of approving forms, what you are defining, the process, what you are configuring, or any document which you have done within the system. You have that complete flexibility when it comes to managing those things in the application. Is the kind of flexibility what you have it. Now, if you go and look at it, actually, we will talk about standard integration with the ERP system, right? I will show you that in the system, and you can see that straight away and work with that. There are multiple ways you can do that. I'm going into Epicor. You can see that actually it's an Epicor screen. I probably go and take a part number here. You can see a part number. I'm going to take a part master or item master. I'm showing this from an Epicor context, but at the same time, as I said, you have the flexibility in terms of managing this with other ERP systems as well, right? That's the kind of flexibility what is being offered. Now I'm taking this particular document. I will go and say that actually, okay, what I want to do is, I don't have any document as such now here. I will go and say I want to link a document. I will go straight away and say that actually, oh, I'm going to attach a document here. And you will see it is asking what kind of documents. I will say part documents. And you get to see that I can go and take a file straight away from here. I will go and say that actually I'm going to take a information. I'm going to access a file which I'm going to bring it here. I will take this, I will attach it. Now it's asking what's the title. I will say that actually part, drawing, and or I will say spec. I can put my own comment over there. And it is asking what is the status of the document. I said probably it is a draft. You get to see the flexibility. What you get to see is you can see the indexing is done automatically, right? Now, all the indexing fields are captured there. You have the flexibility to go and look at it. Now, I have attached that document, and you will get to see that actually that document is being attached against that part, and you have different way to look at it. You can straight away see, view that document. You can go and view that document here. You see that. You can also go and say view in DocStar straight away, or you can click here and say that actually you want to go and look at that document in DocStar. Now at the same time, if I go into DocStar, I go and look at it actually here, and you will see that actually there is a new document being stored in the application. I'm going into DocStar. This is the DocStar screen. And in the DocStar screen, if you look at it, you will see that actually the company which you are connecting, the company is basically Epic03. That is the company ID. If you have multiple company, you will have multiple company. I've logged in as an administrator, so you get to see actually I get access to everything, right? So that is something which you can see. Now, what you also get to see is, I'm sorry for that. If you also get to see that, you can expand that. You will see that actually there are different folders for each one of those content what we are storing, right? So different content is there, and it created different folders. And as I said, this is all because I am an administrator. If I log in with a specific user, I will get to see only the folders and document where I have access. So that is the flexibility. So it is as good as you have different file cabinets, and only one cabinet you have the key to open it and see that. It is as good as that. You can create multiple folders. It automatically get created based on the number of documents you have it, and you will be getting access to only certain folders, only certain documents. You will be able to see only that. Currently, I have access as an administrator, so I have full view of that. Now, if I go and look at my part, you will see that actually the document which I have attached, the moment I click on that document, you see that actually the document is showing in the right side as well. You definitely have the flexibility to go and search for it. You can say, I want to also go and search for this particular part number. The moment I go and search for it, you see that actually that document is popping up there. So you can straight away search for any document in the application, and you will get to see that access. I can search for another document called 48. I'm going to search for it. System saying, hey, there is, as a number 48, I have two documents. There is a sales order acknowledgement called 5575. There is something called 4498. You can see those two documents are popping up. There is a keyword which I have used called 48. So that is where I have the flexibility to go and search it. You can also go and search different other document. Actually, if you go and say, I want to go and look at my AP invoice, right? You can see AP invoice folder. You can see different suppliers there. If I go and take the first supplier, you see that actually there is a document, and that document I can go and see that. You see that actually 438512. Now at the same time, I close all these things. I go and say 438512. I search for that document. Straight away, you see that actually system is going to bring that document, that invoice. I can see that invoice on the right hand side. So everything can be searched based on the way you want. If you want to go and search for ABC, that is a supplier. The moment I search for it, system says ABC as a code is there in multiple places, and all those documents are there. ABC Metal, there is an email I have received. I can see there a document there. I can see there is an expense report there. All these different have the flexibility in terms of going and searching and finding that document. What you can also do is, since you have attached these documents there, now you can access and make use of those documents several places. Now, if you go and look at it, I have created a purchase order, right? If you look at that purchase order, I have created an order for an item called DCD 100SP. That is the purchase order, the part number I have selected. If I go and look at attachments, I don't have any attachments here. You will see there is just a folder. There is no files attached as well. But if I go and look at my part in the part master, this is where you see I have attachment in the part repository, right? DCD 100SP. If I take this document, you get to see that actually there are documents attached to that actually, and you can see those documents. There are two documents attached. As a, it could be a drawing. If you look at first one is a drawing, second one is a specification. So two documents are attached. Now what I'm going to do is I have created a purchase order. It is an approved purchase order. I'm going to print and send this to my supplier. When I go and do this, I'm going to take this, and what I will do is I will go and say I will take this particular format. I will say that actually print it. Now when I'm printing it, system is saying routing is enabled on that, and I'm going to send not only the documents, also the attached documents. In terms of, we typically call it from an engineering perspective, it is transmittals, right? So when you place an order to a supplier, you not only give that particular part, it also supported by certain specifications, the way it has to be manufactured, what are all the drawing, so on and so forth. There are a lot of documents which you send along with that. That document the supplier wanted to see, so the supplier will make it exactly along with that, right? So generally, this is a requirement in many of the places you have it. When I send a PO, not only to PO, there are a lot of other documents attached should go along with that. Actually, that is something most of the people ask for it. Now, if you go and look at it, that is what exactly it does here. And you have the flexibility in terms of going and looking at that. And you can see that actually those documents are there, printed, and it is going into the respective places, and people can see that at any given point in time, right? That is something which you can always see that. And in a couple of seconds, what system does is basically system is going to bring that actually and publish it. I will also get to see that actually those documents in addition to that. You see that now? I have printed POs. Now I can see the PO is there, but at the same time, it is also opening additional documents based on the part. You can see that actually that part specification, terms and conditions. You will also see that actually, you know, the material safety data sheet that is also been popped up. You will also see that actually all those documents are done. And if I go into my email, you will see that actually the system sent an email to the supplier directly, and you get to see that actually the purchase order is one attachment. You will see that actually the drawing is being done. I can open the drawing and look at it. The supplier will get the drawing straight away there. And you get to see that actually I also get to see additional document, a supporting document which the supplier will get to see it. Now I printed twice, so it is two times it is been sent. Now you get to see that. Now also you can see my purchase order number is 4511. If I go into document management system and search for 4511 and search for it, you straight away see that actually, see there is a zip file got generated. If I go and open that zip file will have all the different documents, right? You see that actually all the 4 documents are attached and kept in the system. So you will have the flexibility in terms of any time going and pulling that in. If I go and look at purchase order as a tab here, you will also get to see that actually the purchase order documents, what you have printer 4511.save is pretty much stored within the application, and you have the flexibility to open it, you can edit it, you can do any of those things actually at any given point in time. So that is the kind of flexibility what it is being offered. Now what it also does is basically you have a lot of other capability. You can go into your, let's say I'm going here, I'm opening my email. When I go into my email, actually I can see several emails. One of this email is this, right? This email, when I open it, let's say I'm receiving an email from a customer or a supplier, you get to see, you have straight away a DocStar as such a feature there. You can even go and say that actually which company you want to save it. If you have multiple company in your ERP system, you can select a company and say which company you want to save that. You can also say that actually save to DocStar. The moment you click on that, system is asking you, you want to save this and which context you want to save it. You can see different content type. The content type could be part number, it could be purchase order, it could be AP invoice, it could be inquiry. So you select the right context because it will go and sit in right place, right? It is asking you which context you want to save it. Now, what system is also doing is system is asking you have around 4 documents, right? Put the keywords there. What it's some sort of index, but I'm not enabling the the intelligent data capturing here. I will show you that in a couple of seconds. This is a plain document I have received. System is asking me, do you put the index code? I will say that actually it is RIC01, and this is let's say a purchase customer PO. And I will say part. Now it is also going and asking second document. I will say RIC1 and RIC02, drawing and part, right? I will go and say RIC2 and RIC03. It is specification part, and I will say that actually RIC3, RIC04, it is terms part. See, it is all about you want to store how the document is, and you can very much enable the automatic indexing or intelligent data capturing straight away. I say upload those things actually. Now you get to see those documents are straight away getting uploaded to Epicor, and you will be able to see that actually that document going and sitting there straight away, right? So that is the kind of flexibility what it offers actually. Now you can see I've stored around 4 or 5 documents actually. It will take a couple of seconds in terms of that documents to come here. I can see that those documents which I have saved is going to come in a couple of seconds here, and you will be able to see that documents here straight away, right? So all those documents, you have the flexibility, all those documents will come into the system, and you will be able to go and look at those documents actually here straight away, and you will get to see that documents. All those documents what you have saved is going to be here, and that documents will come and sit here at any given point in time. So that is one flexibility what you have it, right? Every document what you store is going to get archived in the system. The similar way, if you go into spreadsheet, let's say that actually an Excel sheet or a Word, you have the flexibility in terms of storing documents directly from there as well. You can see if I have a spreadsheet here, if I am open something, right? I can see that actually I'm going to open this. Now, if I take that, you can go and look at any kind of document here, right? I'm taking this. You can pretty much go here and say, I want to save this into DocStar. Now, system is going to ask which and save it to DocStar. You get to see that actually these documents will be directly get stored in the content management system, and you have the flexibility to retrieve it at any given point in time. That is the kind of flexibility what you get, and what system offers in terms of managing those documents and bringing that document into the application is a kind of flexibility you can see. You can see all those documents what I have saved earlier. You can say the one which I mentioned, PO, RIC, RIC2, RIC1, all those documents are pretty much in the content today, and you can access those documents at any given point in time. Now, that is in a way you can how documents can be brought in, right? And you can also see here there are multiple other ways to capture the document. You can straight away go and say, I wanted to link this to a device. There is a scanner device in your organization. You can link that device. That device can be defaulted to a content type. You can always say that actually I want to link this to a purchase order in supplier invoices. So whenever you get that, it will go into supplier invoices. It will automatically link to a workflow. You have multiple options. You can also say that actually I wanted to just browse a document from here and bring it here. So you have all these different capability in terms of bringing these documents into the system. It is important for us to also touch upon a couple of other important areas in terms of the capability in the application to define your own workflow. Now you can go here, you can say I'm defining a workflow in the system. So based on each document will be linked to a workflow based on exceptions, based on criteria, and it will automatically go into different route. You can say when you book an invoice, if it is a PO based invoice, it will go through a different route. If you go with a non-PO based invoice, it will go into a different route. So you have ability in terms of managing that. Now I have another workflow here. You see that actually I'm defining a workflow. I'm asking the system to do a match with the PO, do a three-way matching, create the exceptions. In case exception, what system should do. You have the full-fledged capability in terms of managing those things and working with that at any given point in time. Any documents can be stored in the application and work with it. There is one more important capability here. As I said earlier, in addition to the standard documents actually, right, which is coming from ERP and all other places, you wanted to build your own process. When I say that actually you wanted to have a additional workflow process for people to make check requests, right? Now I will go and take, these are all different forms I have defined. You can see expense report. You want to build a full-fledged expense management capability with a workflow within a document management system is possible, right? You can also say that actually I want to make a purchase request through the forms which is defined in the content management system is also possible. Now I will go and take this and say check request is something which I'm clicking on it. Now what it does is the moment I click on it, you will get to see straight away a new form. That form is not an ERP form. It is a form defined in the content management system for extending the use of the applications in the organization. So everybody has got the flexibility to work with all sort of requests and manage it electronically. We are talking about a complete digital transformation initiative here, not just dragging and dropping and keeping some documents there. Now, if you go and see, it is asking the email address. I will say that actually, this is my email address. I will store that. It's asking what is the date submitted. I can put the date here. Date required, I can say that here. You can see it is a typical form which is getting developed, right? Now I can see what is the employee name. It is coming from a list of values. I will say that actually I'm selecting this. Supervisor's name is Ian. And say that actually last name is basically, I will say this. And apartment number is this. And say city is Dubai. And state is Dubai. And I will say zip code is 500171 and say that actually country is UAE, employee email is basically abc@rainix.com. You vendor, you can select the vendor. You can see the address is basically, it is Dubai. Now you go and the entire form is being developed by us, right? In the content management system. So it will store in a database as well as store as a document. It will go through a workflow. All these different things, it will happen. And say that it is a nut. I'm saying the quantity is 4 and unit price is 100. And the line total, you can say that actually you can automatically calculate it and put a formula there. And that is also possible. Now you can go and say that actually this is what it is, date. And if you want to attach a document, you can do that. Once it has been done, the flexibility what you have is you can submit this document. And you also see the moment I fill that, it is showing the details in the database, how it is getting stored. The moment I submit it, this document will go through. And what it allows me to do is basically I can pretty much see that document is sitting in a workflow approval process, right? So you have this document going and sitting it, and you have the capability in terms of looking at that document and doing the necessary approvals and submissions actually of that particular document. That's something which will go through a workflow process. It takes a couple of seconds in terms of getting that form here, but you will get to see that that form is routed through a workflow, and that workflow will come in and sit there. I will be able to approve it at any given point in time. So we are talking about any external documents coming into the system. We are talking about documents, what is being printed from the ERP system is going and sitting in the document management system with the right indexing. We are talking about actually in Excel, Word, and Outlook, any of such tools, the documents what we are receiving, we are directly indexing and archiving and keeping it in the document management system, and you saving it at any given point in time. Now, I want to show you another important capability when it comes to this particular tool. I will go into, let's say that actually into the system where I have a folder here. You see that actually there are so many invoices. You can see this 4 or 5 invoices here. Currently, since it is not connected, my machine is not connected with a scanner, I just took a scan copy of those invoices. You can open it and see it is a PDF document, right? You can see it's different suppliers, Samsung Steel. Second one, if you go and look at it, is Nordstrom suppliers, different invoices. Third one is basically it is ABC Metals. You can see different invoices. Now, this is being done by a scanner. Now, what I will do is basically I will go into my application. I will just keep it here. And you can see here PO invoices. I will keep that. I will go into the application and say, okay, what I am going to do is basically I will just go and before getting into there, I'll just talk about a couple of items before showing that. The next item what we are going to show is basically the integration with the document management system, right? We talked about actually how a document can be stored directly into the ERP system, right? And that document, how it is going and sitting in the document management, content management system. How do we maintain different revisions is something which you can also look at it. We keep creating different revisions and you will be able to store that within the application, and you can see all those revisions as well at any given point in time. It also talking about actually defining a workflow within the ERP system, especially when you print a document, what kind of workflow it has to go through before archiving it, how it is automatically going to capture all the relevant fields and put that as part of the indexing process, right? And you can also see that actually the document, when you send certain documents, actually how it is going to refer with other documents, the one which you have seen in your purchase order process. Though I have linked something in the part master, it is going and picking up that document and bringing that and sending to the suppliers actually. So you can have the full-fledged integration when it comes to that, right? So this is what we have seen so far. Now, if you look at actually the AP automation, this is where actually the topic is all about how do we achieve this AP automation? What does it mean? And how is it going to help? What is the return on investment? And how we are going to configure that is the topic what we are going to discuss. Now, as I said earlier, there are so many organizations who is talking about a digital transformation initiative as well as a shared service center where I'm not going to have so many people sitting and creating AP invoice in the system, supplier invoice in the system, and code that in the application, do a three-way matching, so on and so forth. When we are talking about RPAs, the robotic process automation, as well as a lot of intelligent data capturing mechanism in terms of automating repetitive tasks rather than people sitting and doing it. The human is required, the labor is required, more to do, where intelligence is required, where they have to think and do things and act on it actually, rather than simple repetitive tasks. AP invoice is a more of a repetitive task. You know that actually a supplier send an invoice, he will send the invoice in the same format again and again. It's not that actually every time he's going to change it, right? And when you get that document, reading that document, converting that into a transaction is not rocket science. It's something which people can easily do it, right? Or system can do it. And it can be automated. So what it does, it eliminates errors 100%. Productivity will be increased. The speed in which we can process the invoice is going to completely change, and it will provide you a complete visibility. right? And it is also in terms of how do we easily extract the data, and how does it do the exception management, because it is not that I need to look at everything and is there an exception and work on it. System is going to automatically capture exceptions and act based on a workflow, a routing you have defined within the system, and it will create that invoice directly in the application. No invoice to be entered in the ERP system once again. It will do a lot of things in terms of if the invoice is duplicate, because a system can make out the same supplier, same invoice number have you received before. That could be an exception. You can say where it has to be accounted. How do we manage the miscellaneous charges if there is any? How does the system do three-way matching? If it is a partial shipment and partial invoice, how do I manage it? In case of a variance, actually in terms of value, exception in terms of received good versus the invoiced goods. So all these exceptions can be managed directly through the application, and you can control that, right? And it, as I said earlier, it also is completely integrated with the ERP system, so you don't have to do anything manual, and it also supports a full-fledged multi-company scenarios. And I don't have to keep repeating the bigger benefits. As I said, fully streamlined, all the errors can be eliminated because there is no possibility of human errors. The document system will automatically read using the intelligent data capturing mechanism, and it convert that. It can much quicker processing can be achieved. It is no longer labor intensive work actually, where it can be completely automated. And definitely it improves vendor relations, right? Because the more and more you make it more streamlined process, the supplier vendor getting the payments on time, this will improve the vendor relationship naturally, and system will automatically capture those information. In case of a payment discount, system will alert you for that, and it will give you a complete efficiency improvement and productivity improvement. That is the theme of today's presentation, right? As I said earlier, growth and innovation, let us park it aside. Let us talk about productivity and efficiency and sustainability. And looking at those three components, actually, the whole discussion today is how do we drive that? How do we achieve that is the question here. Now you can see how do I do a workflow when I get the invoice. As I said, the invoice can be received in Outlook, in Word document, as an Excel document, irrespective of how you receive it. System can get all these things and it go through the workflow and make sure that actually that is being processed, right? So you can see that actually the entire document is being defined and created here, right? Now what I want to do is basically I want to show you that in the application. As I said, I have invoice here. I'm going to keep that invoice. I will go and say that actually in a second, I will go and open that and process it. You can see here, as I said, I don't have a scanner attached. So I have a lot of invoices, 5 invoices kept there. I have created just a process to scan that invoice and bring into the document management system. In a real case scenario, you don't have to click that. The moment there is an invoice hits in your email or in your scanner, it automatically into a folder, it automatically processes that. I'm going to click on this. You will see that actually I'm clicking. Now when I'm clicking it, if you go and look at it, you will see that actually the invoices are copied from the backup folder to this folder. You can see that actually it is being locked. System is locking that. System is saying I'm reading that and bringing that into my content management system. You get to see that actually that has been straight away. Yeah, that document, 5 documents are disappeared from there. And once it is disappeared, what I can do is I can go into my document management system. I have the flexibility to go and look at it actually. And the moment I go and look at it actually, I will be able to see what documents have been received, and I will be able to work on that as well. If I go into the workflow, and if I go and say that actually I want to take only my workflow when it comes to my AP invoice routing, you see that actually invoices are getting copied actually. You will see that actually system is going to bring invoices here, and I will be able to see that. You can see here system brought those invoices. You see here, And before that, you remember I've submitted a check request sometime back. You can see that actually that check request is sitting here for approvals. Actually, you can see this is where it is waiting for approvals. You can see there are a couple of other invoices which is waiting for my approval. You can see these 5 invoices which I have populated. You will see that actually those 5 invoices are sitting there as well. Now, if you go and take it, you will see that actually what is the current status of those invoices. You will see that there are 2 invoices which is gone for approval. Rest of the invoices, it is given you errors. One invoice system said it is a duplicate invoice. One invoice it said no PO found. And one invoice it is say it is over limit. This is where you get to see that how do we achieve efficiency, right? Normally, as a human, I will have to sit and review everything manually. It takes hours actually in terms of putting something together. Here, I just dumped a set of invoice. System is reading that invoice. System is saying, hey, this invoice is duplicate. I cannot process it. Do you want to send an email directly to supplier? You can configure in that way as well. Now I can go and look at this invoice and say, why is it duplicate, and fix the error directly from here. Or it is saying this invoice is over limit for approval. It is not in my limit to approval. It has to go to someone else. So it will naturally go into that respective workflow. It is saying no PO found. I am receiving an invoice without a purchase order. Many organizations has got a policy of no PO, no payment. So if I'm receiving an invoice without a PO, system is saying you cannot process that. It is talking about that as well. Now you can see that is been there. Now if I go into my mail, this is where you see the flexibility, right? It sent automatically an email to the respective people and said actually those emails actually system is going to send for those who has to approve it. Now I can do that, and system is going to take that and say, hey, I've received an invoice here and this invoice needs to be approved. Now when I'm getting that email, I can straight away go and say click on that, and when I'm clicking on it, system is allowing me to go into the respective screen and go and look at that particular invoice is something which I can do, right? I may go and say, I will just log out from here. I will log in as a different user. I will say that actually, I will log in as Brian Howard. I will say that actually my password is been entered and I'm logging into the application. Now you will see how the security role works, right? The moment I log in here, and what system does is basically system is showing me only one folder here. I have access to only AP invoice, nothing else, right? If I go and look at my workflow, you will get to see that actually the invoices which I have to approve is only one which is waiting here. Now I have the flexibility in terms of approving it here. I can approve those documents and I can move ahead with that. So that is the kind of flexibility what it offers actually. The moment I approve it, and you will see that both the invoices are there, I have the flexibility to go and approve it, and I will be able to connect with that and work with that at a given point in time. The approvals can be achieved straight away from there. You see that invoice, I can go and look at it here. I can say approve it straight away. The moment I approve it, you will see invoice number is 501107. I'm saying approve it or deny it. I will go and say I'm approving it. System is asking what's the kind of comment. I said actually good to go. And I approved that invoice. You will see that actually in a couple of seconds, this invoice will go and sit in the ERP system with the respective attachments, and you will be able to do that, right? You can see that that document is there. If I go and look at my workflow, I will get to see only the rest of the invoice which I have to approve it. Now, if I go into the application and go and say that actually I'm going to the financial management, accounts payable, if I go into AP invoice entry, you will get to see that actually that particular invoice is got into the application, and you will be able to look at that invoice. You will be able to process that invoice straight away without me doing anything other than just approving that document, right? That is something which we can do, and it is going to look at those documents. Actually, I will be able to process that actually, And that is something which you can pretty much do in the standard application at any given point in time, right? So this is just an example. Now you see, if you go and take the DocStar, you get to see that actually that invoice is yet to come here. It will take a couple of seconds in terms of processing it, but you will get to see that actually that invoice is straight away coming into application, and you will be able to process it there, and we will be able to get that and continue with that particular process over there. The same way you can do a lot of other things. You also get to see that actually there is a process in terms of your customer purchase orders. If you get your customer send a purchase order in the form of a PDF documents, you can directly create a sales order within the system. There is a process for that. So there are multiple options in terms of integrating, connecting with your application, and enabling the entire process within the application is the kind of capability what it offers. So in summary, finally, the overall objective, as I said, improve efficiency, productivity, and sustainability by automating as much as process you can, and also provide visibility to the entire organization in terms of people who can connect with things actually remotely, though they are sitting there home office and working, right? Provide visibility, access of documents. You don't have to worry in terms of where the document is stored and how it is being stored. That is completely been taken care by us in terms of managing the whole systems, as well as if you want to have an on-prem, you can do that as well. Overall, it takes care of your pain and provide you peace of mind and give you an opportunity to achieve your digital transformation goal by and provide ability to be more efficient, more productive, and be sustainable, right? So thanks a lot for the time you spent for this session. I took a minute more, but I'm fully aware that actually you may have some questions and probably I want to answer that question. I have much more to show, but considering the time what we have, the concept is that the objective was more to talk about what we have and how we can help you in your digital transformation core and achieve your objective, right? It is all about giving you a solution for your problem. That is what the objective of this session was all about, actually. Sri, thanks a lot, and thanks to all of you.
Yeah, thank you for such an enthralling session. We have a few questions, Suresh. Kindly take them. We have 3 questions to be precise. One is from Liasat. Thank you, Liasat. What is the database used in DocStar is question number 1. Suresh, would you like to take that?
Yes, it is Microsoft SQL Server is the database which is being used in DocStar.
Second is from Nitya. Thank you, Nitya, for the question. What is the cost and impact? Cost, impact, and the implementation time.
Okay. In the document management system, DocStar can be put in place very quickly. It is not so laborious. It is all about how many workflows you need, actually. If you don't need any workflow, it is all about installation and training, right? The only time it takes is basically, if it is Epicor, then there is no integration effort because there is a out-of-the-box integration available. If it is with many other ERP, like I think Dynamics and many other ERP, Oracle and all, there is out-of-the-box integration. And if it is a product where there is already an integration, you don't have to worry about the integration effort. It's all about installation, training. That is what it is required. The other area of place where it takes effort is basically when it comes to the workflow definition. That we can train you. You can define your own workflows actually rather than depending on us. If you want us to define the workflow, we are more than happy. That is where it takes time. Otherwise, it is a very quick implementation. I would say a rapid implementation rather than spending months and months or weeks and weeks for getting this product up and running.
Thank you, Suresh. The next question is how different it is from other document management systems. Are there any key differences? This is a question from Jose. Thank you, Jose, for bringing that question.
Thanks, Jose and Sri for that question. Yes, definitely yes. What it does is basically, first of all, the technology makes a big difference, right? It is based on a complete latest technology architecture, as well as the workflow engine is built in. All the APIs can be published. And from a technology standpoint, actually, it has got built-in integration with many ERP systems rather than, you buy a document management system and integrate it, actually. It has got a full-fledged versioning, and you can do all the versions and maintain those things into the application. And from a technology standpoint, it is very flexible. It is the state-of-the-art technology. It provides access through all the different channels, and I say browsers, tablets, your desktop, all these different places, as well as the amount of time it takes for implementation is much quicker. That is where the biggest difference is.
Thanks, Suresh. One more question from Sanat. Is it compatible with e-business suite? Is the question.
Yes, it is. It is Oracle e-business suite. It is compatible, and we have cases where it has been implemented with Oracle e-business suite. Yeah.
Next is a question from George Kimani. Does the application got any mobile interface?
Yes, there is a mobile interface for the application. Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah. We have a few more questions. I hope. How easy, this is from Sanat again, how easy it is to add any field? Can user add it, or does it need a customization of the template?
It is not a customization. There are tools and configuration capability within the tool in terms of adding information and fields, yes.
I think there are some related questions also, because it's already answered, I'll probably skip them. How the documents work with customized report is a question from George.
It doesn't matter whether it is a customized reports or standard reports. It is all about actually if it is from an Epico perspective, it is all about use the advanced print routing, which is a capability which is available in the system. And it doesn't differentiate whether it is a standard document or a customized report. It is all about actually the context in which you are printing and the advanced print routing configurations you do in the system.
As the time is out, we will take two more questions, last two, and thank you for the active participation. Another question from Ajaz is how the cross compatibility works. Probably a request from DocStar, how that can be brought into Epicor. So for example, you did a check request in DocStar. How would you integrate that in Epicor? That's a question from Ajaz. Thank you, Ajaz, for bringing this up.
It is, as I said, it is very simple, because when you define a new form, you can link the form's fields to the respective context in Epicor, and you can do the binding, and it automatically gets stored as soon as it has been approved. Actually, there is a field mapping which is possible within the system, which will allow you to do that.
Yeah, the last question of the day. Thank you, Tariq, for bringing this up. When a single document is linked into multiple forms, does the system create symbolic links, or does it create new copy of each form? So for example, AP invoice is required for the receivables, QC check, GR, and so it's like one-to-many. So is it like a copy, or is it a link? Maybe he's concerned about the storage space.
You don't have to. That is the beauty, because if you have the document in one context and one binding, you don't have to keep duplicating it. You can cross-link the documents. That is what I was showing in one of the slides. You don't have to keep duplicating the documents. Rather, you can have the link and straight away kept in one place rather than keeping it in multiple places.
Excellent. Thank you, Suresh. There are a couple of more questions. The programming language is another question, and one more question from George. Yeah.
It is all based on .NET and C#.NET. That's the technology which is being used. And it's all service-oriented architecture. It's all web services. It has been published, actually.
E-signature, is it allowed? Is it possible?
Yes. E-signature, electronic signature, yes, it is possible within DocStar.
Okay. Last two questions, and we will close this session. Does it support Arabic language documents? That's a question from Mr. Mohammed. Thanks, Mohammed, for bringing this up.
Good question. Probably I may have to come back to you. Just take that details tree. I need to get back to him actually on that. Yeah.
Thank you, Suresh.
So we will get back to you.
I think the last question of the day, how secure is the platform? That's from Samir. Thank you, Samir, for bringing that up. With that, we will close this session. Suresh, can you please touch upon the security nature of the overall platform?
Oh, absolutely. So as I said earlier, a complete security platform is built in, and it is completely secured. using the HTTPS, and it helps you in terms of securing within the organization in terms of what people can, what document can be seen by different people, as well as it's been encrypted when it comes to the data is being sent right across internet. So it has been completely secure, and the data center where it is being hosted is basically in Morohab, that is the UAE government data center. So the complete security is being provided in terms of the application, the way it's being communicated, as well as internally within the organization, how documents have been stored and access has been given to different stakeholders.
Fantastic. Thank you, Suresh. Thanks a lot for your enthralling session. Participants, thank you very much for your active participation. Stay tuned. We would be bringing you more and more virtual enabling softwares to help your productivity and efficiency increased. Thank you so much. Have a safe day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.